Hey, dog, Basil already?
Here we go.
Happy Friday.
Hey, how's
Hello, hello,
everybody?
hello.
Woo! Y'all made it.
Yes, thank you.
There's still more women than men on here. So
That's not
That
what this
part.
is
there
about.
you go.
Stop.
Yeah, buddy.
Acknowledge the truth.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, but
So
where
what's
were y'all
Some of
last?
y'all, some of y'all about a fourth of a woman, so that's why it equals out.
Where
I don't get
where
it.
were you last? Where were
Right.
you?
Wait, what the hell did he
What's-
just say?
What does that mean?
Some of y'all
That's right.
are a fourth of a woman. That's why it equals out. That's what I
Fourth of
say.
a woman. Who on here a fourth of a woman? I don't
Please
understand.
tell us.
I see plenty.
okay? Anyway, we're gonna go ahead.
Get your husband. How about that? Yeah.
No. If you don't like him, don't come for me. Go straight to him. Don't tell me.
No, what you need to do, get off air if you don't like me. How about that?
Oh, wow.
What's in that
Okay.
bottle?
Wow.
Let me
Trying to chop us down.
What are you drinking tonight?
let's go ahead and just look at Christy Alley's photograph.
Is she a woman too, Roy?
Christy Alley passed away. Was that not our girl? Did you guys enjoy her back in the what was that? Was that the 80s?
Cheers.
That was the 80s.
Years, right?
80s,
I was
90s.
so sad. I was like, dang.
Somebody,
Yeah.
wow, she passed
Look,
away.
Yes, ma'am.
look,
Seven
look
months
who's talking.
from colon cancer.
Oh,
And it was
wow.
like newly found out. She didn't know she had it till recently.
Yeah, that's a homegirl from. I remember her from. Even though I was very young, I remember her from Cheers vividly.
Uh-huh. And she did.
Look
Look
who-
who.
Look who's talking.
Look who's
That's what we
talking.
like. That was
Yeah,
our
yeah.
show.
Look who's talking.
Yeah.
That was her and John Travolta.
Right.
Yes.
Cheers
Yeah.
started in 1982, 11 seasons.
Wow.
Good show.
Obviously, I'm not talking about the 1982. I'm talking about more like 1990, 89.
Why don't you know the show from 82?
Yeah, I don't
I was
understand.
just 3 then.
He was like, I was too young.
Oh, I didn't know.
God, you was a jit.
Yes, sir.
Ebony was. Were you even born? Ebony wasn't even
No,
born then.
no. Ebony didn't get here till 84. So.
Yeah.
Kendrick was alive. Kendrick was.
Watch the reruns.
Frozen.
Good. Cheers is a great show.
It was. Ebony.
Yes.
So last week there was this story, or the week before, it was Trey Songz. Can you tell me what happened?
I cannot.
No? Okay.
Ivory.
What you
cannot.
mean? No, you done divorced them all the way together, bros? What's going on here?
I cannot comment. I do not.
You done
I do
divorced
not
Trey
know.
all the way together. You done divorced them for real? Like
I do not know.
Okay.
Ebony, do
And
you
I
know
was
his
I
real
think he's
name?
doing too well. Yeah.
Ebony, do you know his real name?
What is
Oh my God.
Basil?
You don't love him.
Trigger Trey.
Trigger
Basil.
Wasn't his charges dropped? Just recently, he had charges.
Oh, well,
dropped.
that's good then. If that's what the story
Yeah.
is, that's good.
Yeah.
Basil.
So
Not
speaking of
necessarily. That
charges,
can be a payoff.
and also speaking of Trey Songz, there's R. Kelly.
Got a new album out.
Tell me about it.
And
yeah,
What?
I'm listening
y'all
to it.
making new
He
music
had it.
from behind the walls.
How you? I just don't
listen to
understand.
that.
How are you releasing music?
Yeah, that's crazy.
No listening to
Going to
that.
jail.
Not supporting
It ain't-
that.
it's
But
not
you
hard.
see,
That's what that
Meek Mill
actually,
did
but his best music was when he's always in trouble.
It
You
can
saved
be
me.
whenever that is thrown into
the
the,
garbage.
the river.
Yeah.
You say that,
Wash
Ms.
it down.
Markins. You say that, Ms. Markins, but remember, we've had experiences where we've conducted business dealings, unbeknownst to us,
Well, you know,
for guys behind the walls, and we didn't even know they were behind the walls.
you
And,
are
and I was
absolutely.
talking, like I said, I was talking to a dude like every other day,
You're right.
and the next thing I know, when I talk his wife, I meet his wife. And I'm like, yeah, I just spoke to Josh. Oh yeah, So when am I gonna meet him? Oh, Miles, you didn't know Josh? You won't be meeting
Somebody
Josh.
said he got plenty of time.
Yeah, Basil said he got plenty of time to make music.
You won't be meeting Josh. You won't be meeting him anytime soon. And I was like,
Oh God.
They said it was leaked though. The album was leaked.
Oh,
Release.
Because when did he want to release it?
Not until he was released. He needed to be released to release it.
Sony, and they need some extra coins, so they just dropped them out real fast.
Right.
Miles, I thought you were talking about the event that I did over at
I am.
Oh,
I am.
Okay.
I am. That's exactly what I'm talking about. I'm talking about that, and I'm talking about one of my recent experiences in real estate. Like I didn't know that. Like first he hit me up via Facebook from behind the walls. And
They have access to computers and technology.
I was like,
Miles.
and he did the walkthrough and everything, like on FaceTime and everything. I was like,
yes.
Wait. What was the background, Miles?
He must be in the feds.
Listen, I'm not gonna put too much information out there because
because he's gonna be watching My2Cents.
Right. I don't want to get anybody in trouble. I'm just saying it was a very interesting experience to say.
My experience was this was pre-social media, so all I knew was every time I went there, they were like, "Oh, Jessica's here," and they would give me the phone when I would show up. I just thought he was always
busy
on the phone, like he wasn't in the office. You running a nightclub from yes.
But how many times
jail,
you hear about somebody
prison.
running business
from prison, not from
running
jail,
business behind the walls? You hear it all the time.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But a lot of times when you hear it, it's about illegal. Well, for me, a lot of times when I've heard it, it's about illegal activity. I've never really heard about people,
conducting
like
9 to 5
right business exactly.
One of my partners, when he was in the Fed, he told me, he was like, everything that goes on in the real world we know about. And he was like, and there's some of us, like some of the more high profile prisoners, are still connected to the real world in various ways. And he was like, at this time, like we were like on iPhone,
oh my God,
maybe like 10.
Miles, I hate to interrupt your story.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something, honey. I'm on the plane heading to a city. The person sitting next to me sits down, and all I could do is just smell this aroma of weed. I'm like, come on now, really? I get the dude who is on here just smoked out.
Well, and set the stage.
Just very strong.
What time was the fight?
Not
What?
make the assertion that he was high.
What?
Listen.
Wait, what? What did you say?
What time was the flight? Set the stage.
Oh, the flight. This one.
You had the early flight.
I don't know where I was going, but I think it was in
like the 5 a.m. flight.
That's what I'm trying to say. You sound like that at 5 a.m. in the morning.
Yes, it's 5 o'clock.
He was going to a meeting with Jamal.
Yeah, we needed to talk about that. We're gonna talk about that in a minute. But Miles, this story is for you. I thought about you.
Me?
Yes.
Why did you think about me?
No, just listen to the story, and now I'm gonna tell you why.
Miles B is drug free.
So that it has nothing to do with drugs. So I'm like, wait a minute, isn't this old boy? So I'm calling Roy, and then I put him on FaceTime, and I'm trying to do like this to the phone. I'm like, isn't this so-and-so from Power? Isn't this the boy from Power? Yada, yada, yada. So I'm showing him. Let me tell you, it was not that one. And I will tell you that when I found out who it was, I pulled the Suge Knight. Do you remember what I was looking like when they took that picture of me with Suge?
You strong armed the man into a picture?
Wow,
that's what you did.
First of all, she
was that my husband
bags and everything else.
My husband told me, just act like you sleep the whole flight.
Please sit down and be quiet.
Don't
act
say
like
nothing fake like you.
Exactly.
fake sleep the whole week.
Put the thing on your head and
Who you
everything.
want to fight with, El Chapo?
We'll
Close
talk
enough.
about that. We'll talk about that on the let out. But how about
Okay,
this?
I'm about to say, who you
Boy,
want
you
to
said
fight
don't
with,
say
El
my
Chapo?
name out loud.
How about this? How about this? So then we get off the flight, and before he came and sat down, it was a black guy in front of me, and the lady. I'm not gonna say that, but a lady was in his seat, and he was like, "Hey, I'm in so and so. What seat? What seat does your ticket say?" She was in the wrong seat. She was in his seat. So he comes to sit next to me to get his stuff straight to put up overhead. The stewardess tells him his stuff can't fit. She fits, like, arranges it, closes it up where it's more room for him to put his stuff there. And he's like, I'll get my stuff in there. I'm not worried. Like he's talking to himself. Then she comes over to him and tells him, can you move this bag that was above him, which was my bag in my row, which he is not even sitting in? I had to interject. Ma'am, you closed the overhead compartment where he couldn't even put his stuff. Now you're trying to ask him to move my bag. Are you saying you can't move it? She said, no, it's heavy. Well, ask another flight attendant to help you. You're not gonna sit here and ask this man to get up and help you, and you haven't even. Anyway, after the flight, he was like, I appreciated you, stepping in to the gap like that. I didn't really recognize what was going on. He was young. I didn't really recognize what was going on when it was going on. So I appreciate you standing up. I said, not a problem. It's more about us sticking together.
Right.
Everybody understands that whether we look like we're together or not, somebody is watching.
Exactly.
That was the main point that I wanted to make. I said, but speaking of watching, did you see who was sitting next to me? He said, I'm from Detroit. I picked that out, and I hope you ain't talked to him.
He said, I hope you ain't. Oh, that's interesting.
Said, I hope you did not talk to him.
From Detroit.
That's very interesting. But so, you can't, this is not, you have to say who it is because you can't.
I don't like this story because I need to know details. I'm going to need to know names. I want to know.
Oh,
don't be trying to switch the subject, Basil. Don't do that to me.
Basil was like, let's talk about prime time.
Prime time. So many layers to prime time. Do we start with where we are today, or do we go back? Kendrick, what do you say, Kendrick?
We're looking in the forward. We're looking in the forward mirror.
Kendrick, how are we gonna start this conversation off by Dion?
I mean, for me, it is what it is. I mean, y'all want to go to Jackson State, or y'all just gonna go forward to Colorado?
I'm giving you a platform to just talk about this situation from whatever perspective you would like to.
Well, I'm happy for the brother, to be honest. I mean, I know everybody wanted him to stay at Jackson State. I mean, I think I wanted him to stay, a little bit longer. I knew what the writing on the wall was. He never said that he was going to be there for X amount of years. I'm pretty sure Miles and Roy knew, what his future really was, what he was thinking. And I was thinking, a Power 5 school. Everybody really thought it was going to be Florida State, but that didn't happen. So, I mean, I have nothing bad to say about the brother. I'm really glad and happy for what he did for JSU and HBCU. He put awareness to college football on the mainstream media.
Here he goes.
Marcus.
Here he goes.
What Marcus got to say?
See, I mean, he did. Don't get me started. Don't get Marcus fired up. I'm just saying, Marcus. He did. He brought awareness to it.
He did.
I mean,
okay.
Without Dion, none of that other stuff that happened with HBCU college football would have never happened. I mean, I don't know what to say. I don't know. What's your take,
Go ahead, TT. Let TT go.
Oh,
TT.
I don't have nothing to say.
You don't have an opinion?
Not
So
really.
Dion leaves Jackson State. He goes to Colorado.
I didn't really want him to. I don't think the hype is gonna be like that anymore.
Michael.
Oh, so
I
you
agree.
feel like with the girl who posted
Right.
Dion bring all of that
I can't
what did
wait
she
for
say?
this. I
What did she
can't wait
say?
for this type of
Did she call it energy or something?
yeah, this
Oh,
energy.
culture? Did she say culture?
No, this
No.
energy. This
Energy.
energy. I can't wait for this energy to come to
Roy,
Boulder,
you funny.
Colorado. And I'm like, girl,
No.
you
Yeah.
getting it mixed up. He was
Right.
feeding off the crowd. He
The
wasn't
internet,
feeding off, that wasn't him.
the
Right.
internet said that HBCU culture is not coming to
It's
Colorado.
not.
not.
Have y'all
You're
been
not
to
getting
Boulder,
that
Colorado?
HBCU.
You're getting Coach
No.
Prime. You're not getting the
You
coach.
just got
No,
the
You
coach.
you listen. You'll get culture, but you won't
You
get
got
HBCU culture.
No,
you got coach.
you're gonna get
You
some
didn't
got a
get
BU
football
culture.
coach.
That's
You get some culture.
HBCU.
But let me
like,
share something with y'all that was a very interesting. Michael had posted some
Oh
earlier,
yes, he
something
did.
that I had been talking about
Yeah.
previously. But he gave some facts. Economic impact: $30 million to the city of Jackson.
Well, let me tell you. I don't know where Michael got that post from, but what I will tell you is that from a research standpoint, here are the facts. Here are the facts. For home games, approximately 16.2 million. In comparison to 2017, it was 7.2 million. And I would also like to point out that the 16.2 million was from during COVID.
Yes.
Yeah, so he made a big impact. So
Yes.
people want him to just
Huge
stay there
impact.
and continue to make that impact. I don't understand.
But listen, he also brought in ESPN. He brought Sports Illustrated
Yeah.
in. You brought 2 titles. You brought 2 undefeated seasons. I mean, you can go on and on and on. You had everything to lose as well. And I don't know what the problem is and why folks are not so happy for him.
Right.
But the reality is he left Jackson much better than when he came in.
Yeah.
That's the reality of it all.
But I
And
think people
what happens,
feel abandoned. You know,
Why?
HBCUs are family
Yeah.
because
Think
because
about
HBCUs
their
are
job.
families. So if you come into our family, the idea for a lot of people is that we stay together. And I know that's
to always
just
work that
explaining.
way.
I'm
Coach,
explaining
listen, he's a
to
coach.
you
He's a
why
coach.
people feel the
Coaches
way they
coach and
feel,
coaches
though.
leave.
Yeah,
Coaches
she's
coach and
answering.
coaches leave.
Why people feel the way they feel is that
You
they
said
feel
you
abandoned.
said you didn't understand why people feel that way,
Yeah,
and she's
like
answering your question. That is a valid answer
it's like
because
somebody's daddy left them.
yeah,
Right.
yeah, it's very valid, but it is also his story. He can choose to do what he chooses to do.
With his life.
I would say it was unexpected though. It seemed. I'm sure clearly it wasn't unexpected for him, but it seemed as if it was kind of out of the blue. The departure seemed out of the blue. However, I will say this:
Like,
we did not. How do I say it? Maybe I'll figure out a better way to say it than how I'm getting ready to say it. But
We didn't secure all of his things in the locker room. They were stolen. And then he said, I'm out.
yeah,
That's what happened.
yeah.
Here's the other thing too.
Mrs. Marcus, I think it was out of the blue for people who really didn't pay attention to college football.
There you go.
Right.
Because if you know college football, as Miles would say, you only really have 3 seasons to get your S together. And if it's not together by then, they're looking for a new coach. And it was quite a few Power 5 colleges that really needed to get their stuff together and needed somebody new. And Auburn was one, and Colorado was the other. Auburn decided to go another way, so Colorado opened up. They only won 1 game this season. So
So here's what my thought was, and you helped me to articulate it. You explaining that helped me to figure out my thoughts the way I wanted to say it. If I'm in a job and I begin to care about my boss's company more than my boss cares about their company, then it's time for me to go. It's time for me to go. And I know some clients that we've had in the past that we have cared and it hurt to leave them, but we cared more about what they were doing than how they wanted to run it, because they didn't want to take any advice. They would promise things, never delivered on the promises, kept just pushing paper along. And when you're very passionate about something and you're working with someone who is not passionate, unorganized, and from what I understand, as far as Dion is concerned, some of the things, there may be charges brought up because allegedly there was a stadium that held 60,000 people, and the payout was saying that it was only 20,000 people in the stadium, and the stadium was full. And the proceeds from the tickets were supposed to pay the coaching staff, but you never had money to pay the coaching staff. So either there's some laundering going on or something is not right. So I too would understand if I'm working under those conditions that
You
I would leave.
you
But I
absolutely
think
right.
another thing too, though, back to Kendrick's point, when he took the job, it was a surprise. Nobody saw that coming. That was out of the
Nobody.
blue. When he took that job, nobody saw that coming. People thought it was a gimmick, and he won. Nobody saw him being that successful. The other thing that we're
Mhm.
not even addressing is Dion's life was on the line. He put his life on the line when he was going through surgery. He put his life on the line to stay there during that time when he did not have to, and got surgery and had blood clots all throughout his leg. I like people don't want to give this man credit, but he all he did was win. And I think what happens is when you win and you like to win the way he likes to win, and you're in an environment that doesn't want to win and is not going to take care of you, and talk to some friends of mine who are professors there and said the same thing, like, hey, these people are not taking care of their own. That's here. So
Mhm. I wonder
can't
if
blame
the
that man
blood
for
clots were a result of the stress of things not working the way that they could have or should have.
He
Or
had surgery on something, and then in the healing process, he
His
got blood
foot.
clot, and then he ended up having to get his toes
It was
amputated.
amputated, yeah.
I was watching, I don't know what the name of the show is, but Joy Taylor, Jason Taylor's sister, that's a
Mhm.
sportscaster or a
oh, okay.
sports commentator or whatever. And she was saying, we got to pick what we want. We want black people. We always talk about, they ain't giving the black people a chance to be coaches. They not giving them chances to be coaches at the big jobs, the big places, and da da da. And she's like, and now he got the chance and he's there, and we not happy.
But I will say this, TT, in response to that, it's almost like the Bible. Nothing is 100%, okay? Because the Bible, one time, if you do this, it's not good. And next time you do it, and then they're like, but wait, you said not to do it. Oh, no, but I'm telling you to do it now. So I'm going to say this. I'm going to throw this out there. Dang, I forgot what I was getting ready to say.
But when she
Hold on,
said
let me sip some of
when
that
she said that, I was like, you are
Long night.
Going
I
deep.
remember. Roy and I said when Dion started winning and then he pulled in Travis, we said he is a threat. He is a threat to all of the D1 schools.
yeah,
They are going to champion to get him up out of there.
Right.
yeah,
They're going to do everything in their power to be able to get him up out of our system, our HBCU system, because he's too much of a threat to the
right.
larger economic pool of what is going on outside of HBCUs. So
Yeah.
I'm kind of all over the place.
She was like, we got to figure out what we want. You know, we got if they got the chance, if he got the chance, we need to be happy for him that he got the chance
He
to
did
do
Yeah.
it.
smart.
I'm
And
happy
you know
for him.
what? Like Barack Obama said when he said that am I gonna remember it? He said, what did he say? Something there's no the some with something there's the is not the absence of fear.
Faith.
Faith, faith, faith. So can we be happy for him and disappointed at the same time? I mean,
Absolutely.
can we have both emotions? Can we be
Yeah.
happy that he has elevated his career and then also
Rain.
disappointed that he's not within the HBCU family?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I think what the biggest thing for me was, because we've had these conversations before on this show, and we've talked about, that impact and how, we wanted to create these environments for our own kids, our own up and coming athletes, right? So there could really be like that pipeline from like HBCUs to the NFL, because we know as it stands now, it's almost non-existent, correct?
Right.
You have a few here, there, is very far few and in between. So with Dion going to Jackson State, I really felt like, there was a bigger hope for that. And I really deep down felt like, down the line, like in a few years, we could really start to see something like that develop. But as we all know, that can't happen if you don't have the proper people in place, and I felt like Dion would have been someone to really help to ignite that, you know what I'm saying? For our kids to really start to realize that, okay, I need to go someplace, as we often say, where I'm celebrated and not tolerated, but where I can also be able to realize my dream of going to the NFL. You know what I'm saying?
I think that that is true, and I think that you can almost say that if the situation is the way that it was in, like, if they talking about the pay and all the other stuff of for Dion and his coaches, it's the same thing. You need to celebrate me, not that I feel like y'all just got me up in here just like doing the bare minimum,
Right.
or wanting me to bring so much and you're not giving back to me.
Yeah.
And then
No,
that
yeah,
reminds
We
me
don't
of,
we don't want it we don't want it to be that type of situation. And I'm sure
absolutely.
we would stick around at something that was not
Right.
loving
Right.
on us either.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with all of that, because
Yeah.
I think that, the flip side, and to your point, is that it did reveal a lot of the issues, right, that still
Right.
exist on our HBCU campuses.
It's like
You know those things
a
are
mindset.
happening, and
yeah,
it's no quick fix, but we have to really work diligently to rectify these issues if we want to actually see that change become a reality.
You got to
You know,
get some of them people out
The
of
people
there.
in the
Because
chat,
that
if they
will
have
be
that
willing to do that.
mentality of nah, you gonna do this and this
yeah,
what you got, make it
yeah,
happen, make
yeah,
some lemonade out of these lemons.
yeah.
yeah,
Right.
And you
yeah,
gonna do it every year. You gonna make lemonade out of lemons.
yeah.
You need to get a
That gets
stand, dog.
old.
Get
It
a
gets
That's a
stand
old.
so
problem at
I can
all
do this right.
But they have to be willing to
No,
pay these people.
That's
Yeah,
what I'm
The
saying.
salary
They got to
was
be willing
a
to
job
step
listing just
up.
came out for Bethune Cookman head football coach. And I think it peaked at 52, 53.
That was what?
Did you all see this Instagram
that's
post
What
crazy.
you said?
where
Oh,
Rich Fontaine, I think
He
that's his
said
name, the
52,
comedian,
53.
and he said
The head
that
football coach.
there was this conversation that was going on
Gotta
about
pay the people.
Deion Sanders, and everyone was getting mad at him. And he was like, nobody want to say it, but I'm gonna say it. He a football coach. He is not a
Yeah,
civil rights leader.
Right,
This is
yeah,
not civil
Right.
rights.
yeah. I
right.
saw that one.
Football.
right.
Yeah, I saw that
It's
one.
It's
football.
true. Yeah.
It
I
is.
mean, for me, it just boils down to one thing.
What is it, Miles?
At Jackson State, he made allegedly 300,000 upwards to about 500,000 a season. At Colorado, he's going to make 5 million, 10 times more. End of discussion. Period.
I
But
think
it's
he was.
Miles. I don't even think it's about the
It
money. I think
probably
the thing
isn't,
is that
Roy, but I'm looking at it
yeah.
as a numbers guy. And if Keller Williams decided to give me 10 times what I was going to make on commission,
You're out. But look, here's the other thing too.
Look at the fool. He's so
Okay,
silly.
Dion laid out a blueprint on how to be successful at a school, not just HBCU,
That's
right?
true.
Not one of those other HBCUs in the SWAC or the MEAC gave up their salary. Not no one of those won titles. Not any of them got their players NIL deals. Not any of them were on ESPN. None of them want to cover Sports Illustrated. And you still mad at this man?
And none of them are
You laid the
recruiting on
blueprint.
Instagram. None of them are recruiting on
None of them.
Instagram.
And you
Right
laid
where
the
the
blueprint
players
and you
are
still
on
have a problem.
Instagram.
He
Right.
did what he came there to do.
Right.
It's
Yeah,
time to move
He
on.
did.
Yeah.
They had a
He
Yeah.
came.
This was the
How
pilot
you gonna?
program. The pilot program. He ran it,
Yeah.
figured out the
And not
kinks.
only that, you brought in NIL deals. You brought in NFL scouts. You got NFL coaches on your staff that did not get paid, and y'all still
They
have a
didn't
problem.
get
We
paid.
ain't never
Right.
Did
happy
not get
with each
paid.
other about
No,
nothing.
we're not. We're not.
Look, hey, hey,
We ain't
EZ,
never
he did
happy
he
with
did a Dr. Jackson. Got an A
And you don't
plus.
even hear
Got
that
a
from
white
other
there.
schools. Other schools
Yep.
talking about, oh, I gave up my salary. Brought your business partner in too. We ain't talk about that.
Yeah.
They
A lot of
breaking
these
into this
fuck
man car. They breaking into this man office. Like, come
no
on,
home
man.
training.
And then the band,
It's
did
still
the band
acting
play
like
one
No,
month
that was
ago?
on a loudspeaker. It was on a
On a
loudspeaker.
loudspeaker?
Right.
Yeah.
That was funny though. I'm
Disrespectful.
sorry.
What did they do
Disrespectful.
on the
I
loudspeaker?
agree, Roy.
They
I
just
agree, but
they
that's
just
funny.
put
that's
out
a
It was
a
funny.
thank you post to him. They just did one.
Just
What did they do on the
Like
loudspeaker?
today.
trifling, shiftless,
They
good
played
for
What
One
happened
nothing.
Monkey
today?
Don't Stop This Show.
Right.
If you want to leave, go ahead and go. That's what he
Wait.
said.
And here's the thing.
Personally, as a Grambling alum, who Jackson State has been kicking our ass the past 3 years, I'm happy to see him go. Lord have mercy. We
Shut
couldn't
up.
get we couldn't
You
get a
are
win again. They
absolutely
put 66 on us this year. Good Lord. Shoot.
When we're
Man,
talking
listen,
about
listen. Up to this point, and I didn't go to HBCU. Nobody was checking for
Yes, we
Jackson
know.
State.
Oh
Nobody.
God, no.
we know you didn't go
Nobody
to
was
No,
checking.
not
HBCUs.
at all.
But we said the same thing at Hampton about why other HBCUs, and I don't mean to brag, but we have a huge endowment.
Yeah.
And
We do
um,
too at Spelman.
yeah, but why
Yeah.
don't other HBCUs pick up on that plan, that
Yeah.
blueprint,
If I may,
and customize it to fit their school, but
Because
understand what it takes?
because they are
The
comfortable
brothers
where
get
they
the
are
same
with that
thing,
mentality
the
that they
same
have.
thing.
might
And
I
you have
might
to
I
get them
say
out of there.
Yeah.
might I say I think that you're dealing with a different I think, and this is just my opinion, I don't know. I think you're probably dealing with a different socioeconomic class of people of color that have contributed and been successful
I'm
as
gonna
as
I'm gonna
opposed to
say I'm gonna say that
I'm just being real. And I think that
I don't
when
think
you
that's
talk
it
about
though.
like the difference between, say, what we consider, when we joke around, we say like the Ivy League of HBCUs
But that's not it. I'm
juxtaposed
gonna
to
tell you
other
why
schools.
that's not it. I worked in financial aid at Hampton University.
Okay.
Okay. We got just as many
Right.
people getting financial aid at Hampton University as every other HBCU that's out
Do
there.
you?
But
What's your
let's
percentage?
be clear. Let's be
Absolutely we do.
clear. Let's be
What's
clear.
your percentage?
Hold on,
Absolutely we
Miles.
do.
Let me interject, please. Let's be clear. You are who you are, regardless of what is in the bank. If
Yeah.
you have an aptitude of elitism, it doesn't matter how much money you have. So you might be applying for financial aid. What Miles is saying is that the forward thinkers go to schools like Hampton. And I explained that to you when we talked.
I
There's
agree with that.
that you do not, you are very celebratory about, but even in that interview, you dismissed me. But the fact of the matter is that those who go to Hampton, you think different, even as far as a division goes. You all left the conference first.
Yeah.
There's something that goes on about the way that the minds work for Hamptonians that is not equivalent at other HBCUs. It's just not. It's not.
I give you that.
That's
I
interesting.
know what it is. I know what it is in Jackson. It's the water.
That's not
The lack
clean.
of-
You mean?
That's not funny.
It's the
No,
water.
Have a real issue.
Roy, that's messed
Only
up.
1/4 women, now the water.
That's not
Okay.
funny, Roy.
Yeah.
listen, I'm gonna go ahead and have
Hilarious.
to apologize. I'm just gonna have to go ahead.
In advance.
I don't understand how anybody can be mad at anybody when they accepted another job making 10 times their salary. I just
Yes,
just don't get
Darcel.
it.
Darcel graduated from Hampton too. Hey, Darty.
Well, Miles, I will
I mean,
say
it's-
on
like I
behalf of the guys on the panel, I know what they would tell you. You root for Stephen A. too, so you think different.
That's fine.
So that's why you wouldn't understand that part.
No, I mean, like, but them same dudes, them same people sold their grandmama house. Them same people talking about we doing it for the culture. or do it for the culture. That's the funny part about it. Like everybody wants to do it for the culture until it's time for you to sacrifice for the culture.
You are
Miles, you ain't
Everybody,
swag, Miles. You ain't swag.
everybody wants to emit that rhetoric.
We
Do
ain't
it for
sell
the
my
culture.
grandmama house.
No, we didn't, bros. We didn't. We kept it. We kept it.
see, y'all
But
act like
like
y'all.
I said, everybody wants to perpetuate that rhetoric until it's time for them to make the sacrifice. And it's so easy to stand afar and tell somebody what they should sacrifice for the culture when you haven't sacrificed anything.
And that was another
Well,
point
Miles,
that
is
the
it?
comedian made. He said, "You all are sitting around here telling Dion what he should do. Have you even given back to a HBCU? Did you go to a HBCU and you got an opinion?"
Yeah.
Well, capital and
Dion,
culture are two
I mean,
different
make no
things.
mistake about it. Dion sacrificed a lot. He sacrificed a lot, you know.
More
And
than
at the
enough.
end of the day, I don't really believe that I can say that I mean, I know it's about the money, but like, because Kendrick and I had this conversation, and I'm like, you know, I mean, let's think about it. Dion done made his money. Like, I don't, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm like, I don't think he
Not
earned
like
it.
that, Rose.
When he was playing for the NFL,
Yeah, but see, not like that, Rose. Them contracts wasn't like that. Like they not the contracts that he had the opportunity to sign are not like the contracts that these guys are getting now.
okay,
Trust
but
me.
Miles.
you don't
He didn't
think
need
that
what her point
Dion,
is. He didn't need the
like,
money.
you
Money.
know, that's what I'm ultimately getting at. Like, I don't,
Yeah.
I mean, because
Miles.
now you
Need
can
the money.
definitely correct me now if I'm wrong, but was Dion the type of athlete that was just out here BMFing, blowing money fast?
I don't know. You know what?
Know what I'm
That's a
saying?
good question. I
So
want to say yes, but I want to say no.
You know, because I mean, in my mind, that's what I'm saying. I'm like, Dion made his money. I mean, it's always great, I guess, to have more, right? Like,
Well, let me add this part.
Must be the
For
money.
all the people out there being like, oh, the money, the money, the money, the money. I'm just like, in my heart of hearts, I don't know if that's like y'all so stupid.
Dion said that God told him
the real
to
root of it, you know?
Dion said that God told him to leave.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
The
that's
end.
what he said.
The
Miami
end.
Killian
God
has
said that
offered
this is
you
done.
10 times your salary to come be the principal over there.
Oh, yeah, I'm out.
That's what I already told her that. I'm like, you gotta stay in somewhere where it's not.
But my financial situation ain't Dion's financial situation,
TT.
Yep.
right?
Homestead has
I know
offered
Dion
you
got
10
way
times
more
your
in the bank
salary
than I
at
got.
Southridge to be.
I don't know, dog.
10 times.
I don't know. That
You're
might be a
make
little
that
bit too
drive
much.
that you
I'm out.
complained about.
Don't come for Homestead. We got an alum here,
Might
and we
be a
going
little
to
bit-
the ship.
A little
We
bit too
going
much.
to the ship.
Too
Thank
much.
you.
Brandy, you in the homestead?
You went to
Yes.
Homestead?
Yes.
Oh wow. Didn't
What do
know
y'all
that.
Homestead Broncos.
I knew
What
you
do
had some
y'all do?
rashness in you
We
somewhere.
don't talk about
You
wins.
not
but I was
Kendrick
Homestead
got that.
It
Broncos.
all comes together, right, Kendrick?
It does.
Stop
It does.
Stop
I knew
Yes,
Tunde.
Ray. I went to
Tunde married
Homestead.
you for a reason.
Stop
I
it.
knew it wasn't the cooking. I knew it was the
Okay.
ratchetness.
Yeah. Pull that one.
Basil,
Pull
what's
it up.
next?
What is this?
So
Oh
Yeah.
Lord.
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
was
Go ahead,
I-
Ebony. Basil pull this one specifically for you. Go ahead, Ebony.
I applied. Would it be correct? Senator's not here tonight. Would it be correct to say that the DA of Miami? Am I correct? Somebody help me out.
The judge. The judge
said
denied.
basically, oh no,
she denied the bond.
my
denied
girl,
the bond.
you finna sit there. You
that?
not yeah.
She's somebody that want to be somebody that ain't nobody.
This is the young lady.
You don't know the background behind that story.
Belinda, what
Belinda,
happened was
She's
said
a,
that
she
she
was
a
the
IG model.
OnlyFans model. Okay.
OnlyFans.
And she was in a relationship with this black man.
Mhm.
And they got into it and she stabbed him to death.
Allegedly.
But Ebony, you left out the fact that he only
No,
did
it's
one.
not alleged. She said she did that. She just said she changed it and said not changed it, but she said that it was in self-defense.
Like self-defense.
Right.
Allegedly.
That what?
No, allegedly it's self-defense, but she
Correct.
stabbed him.
Correct.
Yeah, but he doesn't like black women. He despises them. Ebony
Yeah.
left that part out.
Hey, boy.
Ebony, I see
Hey,
you with your head. You like,
hey,
He
boy, black
said it.
women.
He said
Boy,
he said it.
black women was
Ebony,
silent when that
He
brother
Ebony,
went,
got
we'll talk
he
about
snapped.
went
that
I'm
in a
on
talking
minute.
about
record. He went
black
on
women
record
got
to
on
say
black
his
women got on
disgust
Twitter and
for
black
black
women got on
women.
Instagram and they were like,
They lit him up.
Are you talking about Black Twitter who found that what he said and then posted it after this happened?
Yes.
Black
Yes.
Twitter,
I
that
think so,
same
yeah.
one.
Yeah.
That
Yes.
one.
Like it
He don't
was
like black women.
yeah,
And he black.
it was I mean
Child,
The
sisters,
irony of that,
let me
right?
just put it like this.
No, but
Sisters were not adamant to rush to his defense. Let's just put it
At
like
all.
that. They were not.
I
As
understand that.
as
I
Did
do
you
as,
too. I
guys
as
do too.
Ebony would
I do
say,
too.
period.
did you all see the footage of
That's
her
it.
jumping on him in the air in
Yeah,
the
yeah,
elevator?
yeah. They had a volatile relationship, no doubt.
But
Very
wait, you
toxic.
keep saying that they had this type of relationship, but did you ever see him put hands on her?
Me personally, like from the footage
Yeah,
from the
like
sisters I saw,
footage or
no.
anything.
But you know what they did. But one of the hotel, one of the hotel patrons or employees, or maybe not the hotel, the condo where they were living. One of the condo employees did give a statement telling the police that one time he intervened in one of their
Okay,
altercations.
intervene, but did he hit her?
He said that he had her in the headlock, and in my mind, I'm thinking he was probably
Yeah.
trying to defend himself.
Exactly.
They
Right.
probably like every clip
yeah.
that I saw, she was the instigator, and not to mention her calling him the N word and other racial slurs when she would get upset. Like it's real, like it's real.
He
But
should have
that's
threw
what
her
he
out the
wanted.
window then.
Ebony,
But
shut
that
up.
apparently
Shut
that's
up.
what he
What did
liked
she
though.
say? What did she say?
Ebony, don't
She
do
said
that.
that's
Em.
what he wanted.
That is what he wants.
It's
That
what
is
he
what he
wanted.
wanted. That is what he wanted.
That's
He
why I'm
wanted
quiet.
he
We
wanted
can't
bet
hear you.
he wanted the pilgrim.
Oh, your sound is your
You know,
sound, Ebony.
you
Your
on mute,
sound.
Ebony?
We can't hear you. And you look like you were saying something good too.
Right?
I got a feeling what she was saying was a little.
We can't hear you, EB.
You got to pay the internet bill.
Oh,
Pay the internet bill. They cut off your
Shut up,
sound.
Miles.
Okay, well here's
Hey
another.
Miles, she just got to pay her half because my half works.
Who is this?
So it's reported that
Oh,
He
who
made
this
Her
woman?
Udoko.
boo.
Idoko.
I mean,
Leah.
who this man?
That's
And her
Ife,
husband.
Boo.
Her boyfriend.
Me
That's an old
alone.
picture.
fiance or ex-fiance.
Yeah.
Whatever
Oh, that's
he
him. He
is.
looks different right there.
That's an old picture.
yeah. Well,
Before-
they're no longer
before
together.
the affairs.
Yeah,
They're no
I thought
longer-
this was from the premiere of their new show that they have, the last chapter of the.
That story's coming up. Thank you,
Oh.
but no, that's not from that. He and Nia are no longer together anymore. But I find it interesting from my PR standpoint that all of this happened around the time that the movie was getting ready to come out. I mean, not,
Is it a movie or is it a
I
series?
was taking it back. Yeah, go ahead and pull that up. Pull
Is
up.
it with Eddie Murphy?
No, it's
Oh,
a
this one,
Peacock
okay.
original, The Best Man, the final chapters.
Why are we doing all of these like retreads? Have we gone stale of ideas?
I don't see anything wrong with it. Did you not enjoy this? Well,
I wish
it
they
came
would
out.
have had a
It
movie.
came out in 1998. Were you? How old were you, Miles? Maybe you.
19.
Okay, you weren't checking for this kind of stuff. No movies about me.
But I enjoyed The Best Man. I'm just a proponent and
should have done
We
advocate
want to know
of
how
fresh
did,
and
how
new
do those
ideas,
stories
Ms. Markins.
end?
Like I don't want us to continue to retread
We want to
and
know how their stories
You don't
end.
think
Like
it's
the
a
last
new
one, like,
idea?
what-
David said we
character?
need to know what they
I
story
can't say that
is
because
like.
I wasn't there, but I can't say because I haven't watched it. But I'm just saying, can we get something
the
different?
second
That's all.
movie, it was like, okay, now what?
No.
Because it left
Miles,
on a
how many times-
So
cliffhanger.
that was on
Yeah.
so we find out.
Yeah.
I
Why
don't
can't
even
we find out
remember
this
it.
way? And
I
the
need to
best-
rewatch it because I remember we were like, "Is the girl dead? Is she not dead?"
Yeah, but you know what? I don't know if this is another picture, but because she looked like the young lady who passed away, but that's not Leighton.
Yeah,
That's
no.
true.
Yeah, so she is
Who's
dead.
the-
She
She
died.
passed away.
Yeah,
The
Monica.
burgundy dress on the far right.
That's the
that's
girl.
Monica
That's the one that gets into it
with Terrence.
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 Yeah, they have a love-hate relationship, and she was from the Real Housewives or something.
Really?
On the show. On the show. On the show. I mean, on the movie.
Yeah,
Her
okay.
character was on a reality show. Yeah. Congratulations to Warnock, who defeated what's the man's name? Herschel Walker.
Did
It was
y'all see the
rough in
post?
those Georgia streets. Oh my
Did
word.
y'all see the post where they said Jackson State got a new coach and it was Herschel Walker?
Yeah.
Polar Herschel.
Hilarious.
Polo Herschel don't even know what y'all talking about.
I ain't
He
gonna-
don't even know what's going on.
No, sir.
I am
He don't know
not
what
gonna
y'all talking
discuss
about.
politics
He is
because
just
I'm
like,
an
all
episode
right,
different.
it's over with. Nah,
Right.
now I can go back to being ridiculous. That's what
Right.
he said.
And there was that
Thank
post with his son.
Thank you.
Oh, his son was
And
very
did
mad.
y'all hear of Nia's disappointment of how the Celtics handled her and her family?
Oh,
Yeah.
she said they didn't reach out to her and ask her how she was doing.
Yeah, they said the son was getting bullied in school.
They didn't owe her a call.
Why would
They
the
didn't owe
Celtics
Neil
reach
on the
out to
song.
her?
A call?
Because
That's
they
what
threw
she
all the
said.
information out there, just like what happens after. Was she distraught? Was she okay? Just to say, hey, we saw how this was handled. Do you need any therapy? Do you need any?
She's not married to him. She's not.
She's not married.
They were wrong. They were wrong for how they handled that whole situation. Not necessarily how they handled Nia per se, because as Belinda alluded to, they're not married, so there
But her
really is
son
no
is
legal
still
obligation there. But
his son.
the way they made
We
it
thought
public,
about that when he got with that lady.
yeah, the way they made it public.
But
But
are
his
you
son
saying
is
that
still
the Celtics
as well.
released the statement about them being together, or I thought somebody else leaked it?
No, that's
No, the
exactly
Celtics.
that's
That was
exactly
the
the assertion.
husband. That was the
That's
husband.
exactly the assertion. Because his mistress is the wife of one of the VPs.
Right.
Yeah.
On the Celtics
The
team.
husband leaked it.
Yeah.
Messing around with
I
top-
didn't know
The
that.
top
Yeah,
cheater.
you didn't know that?
I
I
didn't.
wonder what TJ was thinking when all that was going on.
And that was the next story about those messy relationships, and then it being painted as if it's messy. But
I'm
if
like,
they
ooh, TJ. They was in the streets.
adults who were absent of a
Yeah.
spouse, I don't understand what the problem was.
Well,
I think they were married. I thought that was the problem.
Mm-mm.
Nah.
No,
They
they,
were-
Nah.
they
Right
were
in front of you.
separated, and one their
Separated.
divorce is almost final.
For TJ?
Yeah, the media painted it that way. But I also do believe that Good Morning America, which is they're on, I think that also was a rating ploy.
Absolutely,
Absolutely. You can
absolutely.
tell.
I agree, Roy.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I agree.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I
To
agree.
have them both on right afterward.
Right.
Come on.
Yeah,
And-
they
and they-
reported that these are the highest ratings that they've
Yeah.
had.
Because
Wow.
I don't even watch it. It's
But
boring.
then they pull them off.
I'm with you.
They did
Belinda.
pull them off for a
They
quick
pulled them
second,
off?
but I don't watch Good Morning America anyway. But
Right.
But when the
I know
ratings
we
go high,
Miles. We all know you miss Matt. We all know you miss Matt.
Aw.
What does that mean? What is Miss Matt? I'm missing it. What is
Miss
it?
Matt.
you talking about Matt Lauer from
Matt Lauer.
the Today Show, man. I was a
the
fan of the
rapist.
Today Show. I
Oh.
still watch the
we
Today
we
Show.
call we call Matt push button because all he do he push the button, he lock the
Yeah,
women in
my man
the room
lock-
and take
locking them
advantage
in,
of them.
man.
That's not even funny.
That is so
It's not.
it's
Oh
creepy.
my
It's
gosh.
creepy.
It is. Come on in. Let me hit this button on you.
I don't understand how anybody allows that at an organization like
Power,
how
money.
does that
Man
conversation
got
go?
power.
I
Listen,
work- I work
He's
for-
a-
Miles,
Hey, I
he's a
work
male,
for-
he's
hey, I
white,
work
and
for
he
the
got
culture.
power.
I work for the culture, and I'm the coach's top talent, and
And he's a pilgrim.
I tell Jessica Markins, hey boss, listen, what I want to do is I want to put a push button so I can lock people in my office. How does that?
I don't think that might
No, Miles. No, he didn't do it that way, Miles. He didn't do it that way. Trust
How does
me.
that go? Like,
Trust me, he made a phone call.
Here's where the story started off as a lie. He said top talent, right? So we already know that's not going to
hey, Matt was top. He was the top paid anchor at
Let's
NBC.
talking
move
about you,
on
Miles. I'm
because
talking
I
about you,
think
Miles.
there's a special place in hell for people like that. Let's not even go to
Well,
this
no, I
Like you put in the work order, Miles.
conversation.
Like,
about that.
because I look at that and I say, who signed off on that? Because clearly he didn't do that himself.
He could have done
Somebody
it.
had
himself.
somebody-
Of course.
Girl, Wendy, the game premieres on
Yeah.
December the 15th.
Wow.
So it's all everybody's new except the two of them, huh?
Yeah,
I
I
guess
think I watched
so.
the whole one. But they made cameos. They made cameos in the last season.
I like
Tasha
this
Mack
graphic.
and Malik. Yeah. Well, if you don't know, she's been on the culture. She was on the culture this Friday. Part 2 comes on next Friday. Well, she'll be giving a little more information about what Tasha Mack is doing this season. So check the culture out at noon every Friday. Not every Friday, but next Friday. And she'll fill you in on what else is going on. And I know for a fact everybody saw this story.
Yeah.
Yep.
That look like El Chapo Jr.
Oh Lord, that's who
With a
they released.
mustache.
That's
Yeah.
who we
No,
released.
no, no, no. They ain't gonna reach Chapo.
That
Miles would
guy
have
is
liked
about
that.
to kill everybody.
Yes.
Good.
And then,
I'm
so
mad
the
they
thing
cut her
is,
hair.
everybody's mad because the other guy that's still there. But my mom was telling me
You talking
Russia
about the vet?
specifically said it had to be Brittany. It can't be the other guy that's
Right.
been in prison. So everybody's up in an uproar. But
Yeah.
Russia said we'll do Brittany, but we're not doing that other guy.
Right.
But I saw a post where a boy was saying, like, he was like, do y'all not remember that Biden released one of these Marines, got
Now,
one of the Marines released from Russia earlier,
Bo
earlier
Bergdahl.
on, huh?
Bo Bergdahl.
Thank you. He got him released from there earlier on. They forgot about it because now they're trying to complain about this other guy that's there.
and
And
dismissed the conversation that Trump released 4,000 during his presidency for one person to be released during that time.
Really?
I think it's
Yeah.
an insult. I think it's an insult. Here's why I say that. They're painting a picture as if she's a war hero. And the reality of it, if it was any of you women on this panel, y'all be still sitting there. She broke the law, period, point blank.
look,
And for you to,
when
I think the trade you did it like it was a sports trade, so it had to be announced on ESPN, to make it seem okay. I think there's a bigger picture of what they're trying to do and paint, but I think it's an insult. It's an insult to the
favor
military.
ain't fair.
Why would it be an insult to the
Yeah.
military?
It don't. It don't have to be the military for release, right? It's just prison.
Why would it-
It don't have nothing to
But-
do with the military, right?
Well, when I think about who got, how they captured this guy and traded him for him, it's just the backstory behind
But
it
they
all.
had
So,
already released another guy that was in the military before her, while she was already arrested there, and he was in the
but they're
military.
paying her to be a hero. She's not a hero.
I have
What's
to.
the point of this hero?
I don't think she thinks she's a hero. I
I'm
think
not
that's just
saying
how
to
the
be a
media
hero.
spins things.
But I don't like it. I don't like it at all. At all.
I mean, the
Well,
only reason why it's a big issue is because she is a WNBA player, and I mean that's the reason
Add
why
more
most
onto
things
that.
are
Add more onto that.
just
You
like
gotta add
just
more
like
onto
the
that.
reason why it's a big
Oh.
issue about him is because
Gotta add more
Deion
onto that.
Sanders is because he was the big time
Football star.
showboat of football.
No, what they
It's-
were saying
it's not-
anybody
it's
else
not
would
the
have-
W-
that
not
Biden's
the
administration
WNBA.
was saying that she checked all of the boxes for this time in our culture. She's Black,
in our culture.
she's lesbian, and she's a sports hero. That was what they were saying. But Trump, I said 4,000. No, I just looked it up. It's 5,000 Taliban.
That's a lot.
He
For
released
one?
yes,
Wow.
They won.
5,000 Taliban.
5,000. Well,
I didn't even know the Taliban had that many people in their army. 5,000.
September
Miles, you tripping.
2021.
No,
You tripping, Miles.
Right.
Miles, you tripping
Right.
if you don't
That was
if you
real
ain't know that.
quiet.
5,000 people.
Miles.
so that's when they
Man.
close
I'm
Guantanamo
glad
Bay.
they got her
You
out. I mean,
tripping.
at the end
They
of the
said
day,
that peace talks between the Afghanistan government and the Taliban, which never made substantial progress, didn't begin until after Trump released 5,000 Taliban prisoners.
Mhm.
Jeez.
Yeah.
That's That's really
Got
good
it.
information, actually.
Gotta keep the flow going.
That's
Gotta keep the
really
flow.
good information, Ms. Margaret.
And I don't think they're going to ever release that guy Wheelan. They think he's a
They
spy.
said,
He's a
they
spy.
said that
you talking about Willing or Snowden?
Wheeling.
Wheeling.
They said
Oh, they ain't get
he's a spy.
Snowden staying over there. He ain't
it's
never coming back
time
home.
to
He
agree
come back
to
home, they gonna execute
release
him.
him.
Yeah, and he's not he's an ex-Marine. He was dishonorably discharged because he caught a charge for larceny while in the military.
And the guy who we released, what did he do?
Oh,
He
he was an
killed a
arms
bunch of
dealer.
people.
Oh, he was an arms dealer.
Arms
He's
dealer.
known as
He
the
stole
merchant of
arms.
death.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He's known as the merchant of death.
yeah.
He's like a notorious arms dealer who dealt in the selling and distribution of illegal firearms to various
And he
Like
was
entities.
supposedly, is this not true as well, that there was some setting up of people here in the United States to be killed?
Allegedly, but I don't know
alleged.
that part to be true. I just know that
But
he's basically
Hey,
known as the
hey
merchant of death.
Miles,
he
he's
only
like
had like
Nicolas
2 more years
Cage's
on his
character in
sentence.
Lord of War.
They had to let
Oh,
him go anyway.
oh, 2 more
They were gonna
years.
have to let him go
Yeah.
in 2 years anyway.
Okay.
He only had like an 11-year sentence.
Okay.
How many
Rainy.
years?
Well, hey,
11.
Rain,
Yep.
let's
Hey,
see with
cute
this.
little baby.
Harry and Meghan.
Oh, they telling it all, child.
Oh, goodness.
Did you watch it already, Brandy?
No, child. I heard excerpts and I was like, oh Lord, they better not never go back over there.
But I heard they were talking about getting a divorce as well.
Mm.
Well, do you think the divorce was because she made a decision to say, hey, if we don't leave here, then I'm good?
It sounded like originally it sounded like he supported that decision. Like
Right.
that was mutually that wasn't something that was a unilateral decision per se. Um, I mean, nobody knows the ins and outs or the intricacies of what really took place, but at the end of the day, we as people of color can just imagine what that young lady went through being the wife of quote unquote royalty, privileged royalty, that they use they use people of color in the culture as photo ops to display their philanthropy and how they love the world and all of this other stuff. And it really just is a facade, in my opinion. They don't really care about less fortunate than them and what have you. And they have perpetuated a racist institution since the beginning of time. So I mean, I can only imagine what Megan has been through. But
And then even just a few weeks ago, it speaks exactly to your point, where old boy's godmother questioned that young lady, saying, well, where are you from?
Right.
yeah,
Right.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
ridiculous.
Ebony,
You know what this you have everybody on this panel has this brown skin, so you know exactly what it means. Like certain sectors and certain social economic aspects of society, they look at us as second class citizens and will always be that to them.
And
And I
Trevor
can imagine to
Noah, did
royals,
you
that's
see
exactly how they see
Trevor
it.
Noah's comments? Nobody saw Trevor Noah's
No.
comments?
What did
oh,
he
you
say?
mean when he thanked black women?
Yes.
I
What do you
saw
say?
it.
Yes.
Trevor Noah is a
You should
beast.
play that. I
With
love
He's a
tears,
that.
it
beast.
was,
Wait a minute. So he's coming off the show, right? He's not
yes,
doing the show
yes,
anymore.
with tears in his eyes. He said, if you ever want to know where we need to go and where the country is, you need to talk to a black woman. People tell me all the time, I'm so smart. You think this way, you think that way. You know why I think that way? It's because of the black women in my life. And then he went down a long list of just not family members, but other black women of stature and knowledge who pour into him. And he's like, stop dismissing black people. Black people know what's going on. If you have a cold, we have the flu.
Hmm.
100%.
Mhm.
It was very good.
Very good.
But he's a
Why
beast.
is
Though.
why
He's
is
a
he
beast.
leaving the show?
COVID told him that he does not need to be anywhere every day at 11 o'clock or whatever time at night that he has to be there. He said, I miss comedy, going and doing stand-up, just being free. Wait a minute.
Seeing
Speaking of
himself
free,
there.
do we not miss the day when Kanye was no longer free and Deion Sanders worked at HBCU?
Right.
That was kind of a great time in Black culture when those two things were happening at the same time. But
But it's over now, baby.
it's over. So we're
Pretty
gonna
much.
leave
We
that
almost in 2023, child. That was 2022.
2022. But that was nice. Kanye wasn't free. And Deion worked.
No,
Kanye wasn't acting crazy, is what it
Yeah,
is.
I'm working free.
Yeah. Next year we'll be like, y'all remember when?
Dion wasn't working for free.
Exactly.
Look, Kanye wasn't acting crazy, and Dion wasn't working for free.
Yeah, there we go. There we go. That part. Did you guys see this? It's time for us to go, but let's.
Ain't nobody cheating. Everybody cheating. Chuck, don't cheat. Yeah, don't cheat, Chuck. Don't cheat, Chuck. Don't cheat. Don't cheat. Get your butt out of here. Oh, that was bad right there. That was bad. That was bad.
He's on his feet.
They be wilding on that show, boy.
They do. They do, man.
Charles Barkley just gave
that
a
has to
took me
be-
$1 million, so I'm not mad at him today.
Right.
That has to be the best
Not today.
sports show on TV.
Okay. How long will $1 million last?
Got till 24 hours. Got 24 hours.
Okay.